All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 7 of the Pro Shot Podcast. It's been a tough week in the hockey universe, so we're here to talk about some of the great things that happened this week. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host Tyler Rains, along with Jon Petit, who is our newest member, and Cameron Reeser. How you doing, boys?
Doing great. How are you doing today, Tyler?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad.
I'm doing great, boys.
All right, so before we get off to any news here, Jon, I just wanted to get you. First off, I wanted to say welcome to the podcast. Second, it's been a long road coming up, so we're glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. You know what? From the bottom of my heart, from the great Beantown City, whatever you want to call it, bringing the information out there is my main job. And hey, I'm joined by the best guys in the biz, huh?
You're too kind. You're too kind.
Hey, dude.
All right, Jon. So you know what? Let's get a little bit of an introduction going for you.
I mean, what's there much to say? I'm a simple man. People call me at school the sports nerd. I guess you guys can call me that if you really like. I'm kind of one that will be one to talk about hockey in an instance, and then if you want to sit down and talk a little about Star Wars, I'm down for that too. I like long walks on the beach. A little bit of a past part-time hobby. Anyway, all jokes aside, from a small town in Rhode Island, very big on what I do. You know, I'm kind of happy about what I do. I have an all-seeing eye into the future. A lot of you boys will recognize that as time goes on. I've known Cam for a few years, and I'm happy to be joining him back on this podcast. A longtime friend of mine.
Man.
So, you know what? As we like to say in Boston, let's get the shit done, man. Let's get the shit done.
All right, Cameron. So you know what we're talking about right now. What we're going to bring up first. There's a lot to talk about. Starting off with your favorite goalie, Mikko Koskinen. So yes, recently in the last week, we've I guess been addressed by the Edmonton media. Mikko Koskinen has been signed to a 3-year, $4.5 million average contract. That's horrible.
I've got no words.
Sheesh.
He's 30 years old, 6'7". What was the logic behind this?
They're like Ben Bishop, but I mean, what's that gonna get you?
I mean, let's be honest here. He's not as good as a goalie as Cam Talbot is. And Cam Talbot's
absolutely not
younger, and Cam Talbot plays a lot better. Let's see this year.
More
the
consistent.
Potential that is said for $4 million is quite a bit to go. But at the same time, you can't be screwing around with goalies that are not like worth that level.
Ellie, what are you thinking, man? Come on.
I'll tell you what he was thinking. So this is a big screw you before he got fired from Edmonton, and we'll get into that a little bit after. But going into just diving into Mikko Koskinen's stats a little bit. So he started 25 games. He's 14, 11, and 1. He's got a 2.79 goals against, and his save percentage is .910.
What an impressive goal against average at that.
That's not bad
My
at all.
goodness.
He's not doing horrible. I mean, that record isn't exactly the best, but
still worth
I
$4
mean,
million.
the Oilers are having an off year.
still solid. But no, that's $4 million. He's definitely not worth it.
Oilers are definitely having an off year.
Yeah.
Well, along with the Oilers off year, you know, they've just been producing. You know, Oilers ever since they got Connor McDavid, they haven't been as good after the first year. Just has not been
I
looking.
think I'm going to say this right now. A perfect time to trade, the perfect player to trade right now would be Jesse Puljujarvi.
That's Cameron's famous saying right there is, let me say something right now. Yeah, Puljujarvi, I think, would be...
Okay. No.
That means,
You know what?
that means
was
business
gonna-
when
I'm
he
not
says
gonna
it.
lie right now, but
Oh, shit.
I was gonna say McDavid, but you know what? Go you, Cam. That was my
Yeah,
second guess.
I mean, no,
Now Cameron explained
I mean, I would say right now, Pugliarvi is on the trade block. I'd say. I don't know what they would get for him. Maybe a goaltender, maybe something. I don't.
Why do you need a goaltender? I mean, I get it for the backup. And
Talbot,
trying to get better than
Talbot, in
Cam
my
Talbot.
opinion, is not a starter. It's just my honest opinion.
I mean,
I
hey,
don't
It would be
know.
the same way that he was in New York.
I agree. I agree, but I disagree. I want to see him do better, and I really wish he did better. That's why I'm like so in between.
yeah, you know what? Here, think about this. You know what? The thing that I was getting back to is, it could turn out to be like Pecorine. He ages like fine wine, just gets better with age. So who knows? Koskinen could be one of those goalies that's just a hidden gem that Edmonton has. But I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
he could come out of nowhere.
it's gonna be interesting to say the least.
And
He
no, that
could,
is not a
but
sexual
still.
pun.
When have we ever seen this before? I want you to take a look back. Besides Pecorine, where have we seen this? A 30-year-old goaltender that is just getting better with age.
Evan Dubnyk.
Want to know another goalie? Roberto Luongo.
Evan Dubnyk,
Yep,
Roberto
Roberto.
Luongo. There's, oh yeah,
Even though, in personal opinion, since I am a Bruins fan, he's only had one good season, and they rioted over it.
Anton Khudobin.
Yes,
I could see that as
Khudobin as well.
I could see that as well. I could see Tim Thomas as a good example of that. I was just
Absolutely.
saying like, but 4 million right off the bat, as soon as he started producing, kind of absurd to me.
I
Yeah.
don't agree with that whatsoever.
Well, it really depends on, first off, who you have in front of you, and second off, your performance in net. If you're not having a good night or, you're just having an off performance, you need to get better. That's just a given.
Agreed.
But if it's the defense not helping you out, that's another thing too. Anyways, boys, so you know what? Let's get an overall verdict on the contract. Worth it, not worth it?
Not worth it.
I'm gonna say not.
Not worth it.
Absolutely not worth it. Right now, Koskinen is a good, solid backup, if that.
He's got to prove himself.
He's a good, solid backup, but we've seen Peter Chiarelli do this a few times, and I hate how he does this because he did this with Boston, with Tim Thomas, and just overpaid. And then they start, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know for a fact that he started up becoming God's angel come onto your team. You don't know that. So you got to give it time. 4 million right off the bat is totally not worth that.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, not at all. Bad move.
Oh yeah, oh man. It's just not, no.
Yeah.
Horrible move.
Anyways,
Horrible
moving
move.
on.
Which brings us into the next movement here. You know what, Edmonton fans? I know a bunch of you in the comments are probably going to be like, out with Chiarelli. Worry no more, my friends. Chiarelli's gone. Your years of suffering are finally over. Finally.
You know what stinks? You know what stinks, Edmonton fans? I feel the same exact way.
Don't we all feel the exact same way?
Even though he built my championship team, I still feel the same exact way.
Just
he basically
with Dave Nonis.
Oh, please don't bring him up. That's another episode for another day.
Or John Ferguson, or Cliff Fletcher, all those guys.
You know what?
Oh my!
Hey,
Cameron, that's
at
gonna be
least
something
he didn't
to
send Connor. You know what? At least there's one thing good about Chiarelli. He didn't send Connor McDavid with a few other players to Dallas for a few other players.
It's true. This is true.
For Louis Eriksson, my bad. Yeah, Connor McDavid.
Oh yeah, and John, we will get to the top 5 worst trades that Chiarelli has ever made. In just a minute.
And we're gonna do that in just a minute. But Cameron,
and guys, just get ready. Is these trades are absolutely horrible.
All right, and let me just mention something before we get into the top 5 worst CHIARELLI trades, which I'm going to love judging these ones. On February 25th is going to be our live stream for the trade deadline, so this is going to be a tough week for many teams leading up to it. It's going to be hopefully an eventful day, so we're going to be live streaming on at least Instagram and Twitter live.
I believe we're going to be live at about
should be about 8:30 a.m. hopefully
8:30 a.m. hopefully, yeah,
Eastern time. So tune into that. Anyways, boys, so let's get into the trades here. So number 5,
I would say would have to be probably
Cam Talbot trade.
The Cam Talbot trade, definitely.
Could be,
So
yes.
That trade sent to Edmonton Cam Talbot and the 7th round pick from 2015. To the Rangers, a 2015 second, 3rd, and 7th.
Yeah, that's.
I just don't understand the overcomplication in fact, quite frankly, the overrated Cam Talbot being worth a 2nd and a 3rd. A backup goalie at most should be about a 4th. And you're looking at a goalie that goes back and forth, will play just about 50% of your season. And to see that that's disrespectful in a way to New York. Well, not to New York, it's to Edmonton fans. You guys got a backup goalie for a 2nd and a 3rd. That's just about an equivalent to a first round. Let's be honest.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, even 2nd rounders. There's some notable players. Roman Josi, that came out of the 2nd round as well, and many more. But trading a 2nd round pick is just getting rid of your future.
Yeah.
And number 4.
Number 4 is a Justin Schultz trade to Pittsburgh. Yeah. February 27th, 2016. The trade deadline.
Yeah.
This trade, I literally was sitting in school. It was I think grade 10. I was sitting in class, in civics class, and I saw that the Penguins acquired Justin Schultz from Edmonton. And what they gave up was a 3rd round pick in 2016. To Edmonton, a 3rd round pick. To Pittsburgh, Justin Schultz.
Oh.
That's a sad right there. And I'll tell you why it's a sad.
The icing
horrible.
You could have easily paired him up with Darnell Nurse and had a great defensive.
Easily.
Yeah. You could make Cam Talbot look good with defense. Let's be honest.
Even Clefbaum.
Yeah. Even Oscar Clefbaum. I mean, at the same time, you could debate a little bit that Edmonton did make that up with the trade for Taylor Hall, if you want to debate that. But even then, Taylor Hall's trade was a pretty crappy trade to begin with. So
we'll be getting to that. So,
anyways, I think at number 3.
At number 3, the Jordan Eberle trade.
Oh yeah, Jordan Eberle for Ryan Strome straight up. So let me just put this into perspective.
Oh, yeah.
The Oilers send over Eberle to the Islanders in exchange for Ryan Strome. Strome, in the end, would get traded to the Rangers in exchange for Spooner. Spooner is now playing in the AHL.
AHL.
They basically just gave away Jordan Eberle for free.
That is disrespectful. Because Chiarelli was the general manager of the Bruins. And he pretty much drafted Ryan Spooner. And that's pretty much a slap in the face.
Ryan Spooner, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory for Ryan Spooner. I'll give you a little bit of a backstory dating back to when I first started watching NHL hockey. Well, in fact, a little bit later than that, around 2010, right? So, of course, I was 10 years old. And I was a young gun at the time. It was one of my rookie years. I was 10th team, 10th league year in the league. I can't get my words out today. But practically seeing the Bruins, they were mainly all centers. Their whole entire forward core were mainly centers.
Mainly centers.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Spooner was one of them. David Krejci and Patrice Bergeron are both a first-line centerman for any team.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
both. Ryan Spooner is practically the equivalent of a second-line centerman.
Yeah.
He was on the third line in the 2011 season. He was on the third line throughout the Bruins since. He is a force to be reckoned with. And he was a remarkable third lineman as well.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
the
he was
Bruins-
amazing.
Yeah, the Bruins back in 2011 were said to have one of the best depth teams that we've ever seen in Boston for a long time. I like to compare the 2011 to the 1970 Bruins. I feel like they were a lot more physical than a lot of teams in the National Hockey League. I feel like they were a lot more dirty, but that's my own opinion.
Indeed.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think the Bruins, all time, some of the best depth was from the Bruins when Chiarelli was GM. When that all started going downhill was around 2013. But even then, when the Bruins had that depth, that's the reason why they'd go so far in the playoffs. Even though 2012 Washington Capitals, I don't really want to talk about it, sad day indeed. What I'm gonna finish my point off with is that Ryan Spooner is the equivalent to a line 2 centerman. There should be no reason why he's in the AHL.
Other than his
No
recent
reason.
struggle this
No,
year, which
there's
is unfortunate.
absolutely zero reason that he should be in the AHL right now.
That affects performance. Sometimes a change of scenery is just, it doesn't work well for your in-game performance.
Of course.
Anyways, so moving on to number 2, and this is just
And
Edmonton
we got a
exclusive
tie
for
for
now.
number 1 coming up.
This is just Edmonton.
This
This
is
is
the
Edmonton.
eventual Matthew Barzal trade right here.
So here's Cameron. We'll this is strictly Edmonton right now, except for number 1, which we'll talk about after. So number 2, Chiarelli's first moves the Oilers GM to Edmonton from the New York Islanders, defenseman Griffin Reinhart, to the Islanders, a 2015 first and second round picks, which would have been Matthew Barzal and Mitch Stevens.
Like Chiarelli, I bet you everybody was calling for your head on that one. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's
Years
just,
later, they are.
that is bizarre. That is
Without
bizarre.
a doubt. You can't really be trading a first round like that, especially when that first round turns out to be rookie.
And where is Griffin Reinhart right now, huh? Where is Griffin Reinhart right now? Oh, that's right, playing for Vegas's farm team.
Wolves.
Yep.
Gotta love those Wolves. Go Wolves.
The only thing.
It's funny because I'm a Providence Bruins fan.
Guys, it's pretty obvious who's tied for number 1 here, but the first one we're going to be talking about, and John, I know this one's going to break your heart, man.
I'm over it.
Tyler Seguin trade to Dallas.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so over it. I'm so over all the bullcrap. Let me start out this conversation, please. Now, Peter Chiarelli, this is a note from a Bruins fan. Screw you. I hate you. Our team is so much better without you. Second off, let's talk about this 2013 trade for a second, right? So we got Tyler Seguin. It was a 9-player deal, by the way. Tyler Seguin,
7
Rich
players.
Peverley. Tyler Seguin, Rich Peverley, off the top of my head.
Here, I'll read out the full trade. So it was to Dallas. It was to Dallas, Seguin, Peverley, and Ryan Button, and then to Dallas, and then to Boston was Louis Eriksson, Joe Morrow, Riley Smith, and Matt Fraser.
See, let's do a little bit of figuring this out, right? So after the end of 2013 season, Tyler Seguin had a career year going to the Cup final again with Bergeron and Marchand, putting up as many goals as he did. I can't remember the full season stats from 2013. Really sorry about that. Crappy memory. Something like that. But anyway, I'm sure the comments section will be like, no. He's just really dumb and forgets stuff. Yes, you're totally right. At the same point, just let me do my thing. Let me be the rookie here. But anyway, so back in 2013, Tyler Seguin was coming off a really good year. Rich Peverley, not too much, but he still was on that 2011 Cup championship team. Button, I don't remember him as much. I'm sure he was an AHL player. I'm sure he was a decent AHL player. Not really into that much. But let's talk about Seguin and Peverley. That year in 2011 in particular, they were outstanding. They were beyond outstanding. And you trade them away for Louis Eriksson, a player that plays next to Jamie Benn of a dying franchise at the time. Dallas, you should be cheering. Peter Chiarelli saved your franchise. Ruined Boston's in the process. Riley Smith, where is he now? He's in Vegas. Louis Eriksson, where are you now? In Vancouver. Who from that trade did we keep? No one.
Not one person.
That's why
And
I hate this.
ladies and gentlemen, obviously at number one, it's the one of the
It's a
worst.
straight
It's
up
gonna go
1 for
down. It's
1.
gonna come down as one of the worst trades, at least top 5 worst trade. I've just got no words.
Taylor Hall for Adam Larson, straight up.
But
There's just
and and that's the icing on the cake right there. I bet you people were already barging on into Rogers' place, and
My question is, who let the Edmonton fan run the business? Like, Jesus Christ.
Chiarelli must have been.
I bet you everybody was just barging, would have just barged the door and just freaking killed Chiarelli right on the spot.
You know what? Honestly, he must have been under the influence. Nobody makes a trade that stupid.
There's no way.
To fix that trade, you'd have to add a first round at least.
No, not even first round. Not even.
At least.
Not even.
At least the first round.
Not even. They'd have to give up Larson and like 2 firsts.
Who did New Jersey have at the time?
Firsts. 3 firsts.
No one. New Jersey had no one. They had John Moore. And where did John Moore go?
What is Adam Larson right now? He's only a second-line defender. Where's Taylor Hall? Oh, I don't know. One of the best players in the NHL.
That trade just speaks for itself.
Way to go,
That trade just speaks for itself. It was absolutely horrible.
That was the icing on the cake right there. That was the icing on the cake.
Anyways, gentlemen, so let's go into another thing here. So I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star game and how this happened over the weekend. So first off, the skills competition wasn't that great, except for some brilliant performances by Kendall Coyne Schofield and a couple of the players, including Rebecca Johnston from the Canadian women's hockey team. So that was a great performance to watch in the skills. It was the fastest skater and the shooting. Wasn't it a shooting accuracy? I believe. I could have been wrong. Anyways, but yeah, the skills competition was great. Yes. Oh, yes. No, I was talking about the demonstrations, but yes, Pasternak did win 11 seconds for shooting accuracy. That was ridiculous. So
insane.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you here. This was probably one of the most boring All-Star games that I've seen in years.
Oh, absolutely.
It wasn't entertaining.
I was working that game, so sadly I couldn't see all of it. But I know who won, and I saw the replays, and wow.
I won't go through the individual scores, but I will say the final scores of the game. So the Central beat the Pacific 10-4 in game one. Gabriel Landeskog got a hat trick in that game. Metropolitan Atlantic beat the Metropolitan beat Team Atlantic 7-4, and in the finals, the Metropolitan ended up beating the Central Division 10-5. Those games were just not that entertaining this year. That's all I have to say. There's not really much to be said. I still think they should go back to East versus West in the draft, but who knows? Who knows? It might not even happen. But that was pretty much All-Star Weekend at a glance. So, and even speaking of which, All-Star Weekend at a glance. So, as we know, St. Louis is going to be hosting the 2020 All-Star Game, and from what it's rumored to be outdoors. I don't believe it will be.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
I would love for that to happen. I would absolutely love for that to happen.
And it would actually have a meaning towards it.
Exactly. The All-Star Classic.
That would be phenomenal.
Amazing. Like AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. The All-Star Game, phenomenal one.
Back in Boston. Johnny wants to see a game.
Oh, dear Lord. Yeah, that's
All right,
another thing.
Speaking of the Winter Classic, Tyler.
Cameron, oh my God! I just want to hold on. I just want to get into
called
something really quick. I want to say something. Cameron, you called the Winter Classic. You said it was going to be either Vegas or Nashville versus Dallas. You called it.
You know what I said? Do you know what I said?
What's up?
What did you say?
I said Buffalo. I said Buffalo for 99.
Oh, Buffalo.
Oh,
I said Buffalo.
The no goal.
I thought that would have been a really cool alumni game. You know what I'm thinking?
That would have been.
I'm thinking
Mike
Modano versus Dominic Hasek.
Mike Modano versus Pat
Brett Hall.
LaFontaine.
Brett Hall versus Brett Hall. Brett Hall, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you're not even considering Brett Hall in there. But at the same point, could you imagine that alumni game? That would be insane.
Oh, yeah.
That would be insane.
That would
just
But anyways, I did call it, Tyre. I did call it. So it is indeed confirmed by the NHL. It will be the Nashville Predators versus the Dallas Stars at the Cotton Bowl. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into why the Cotton Bowl is such a funny name.
Cotton Bowl.
America's team.
I don't want to get into it. John and Tyler knows what I'm talking about, but let's move on here. Also,
the Cowboys.
Tyler, I'm sorry I'm stealing everything here, but another thing that has been announced is the Stadium Series. It will be the Colorado Avalanche.
The Los Angeles Kings.
And the Los Angeles Kings.
This makes me upset.
And wasn't there another Stadium Series announced that it will be Pittsburgh and Philly?
That's this year.
Pittsburgh and Philly as well.
February 27th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh and Philly is the other Stadium Series.
What are those jerseys?
Can I just say something?
We'll get into that.
Those jerseys?
Cameron, we'll get into that. Just talk about this first.
Do you mind if I say something about the Avalanche versus Kings?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Hey, Gary Bettman, if you're listening right now, I have a question. In what world are the Avalanche and Kings an actual decent Stadium Series game? They're not a rival. They're not in the same division. Okay. They never met in the playoffs, ever. What do they have against each other?
Here's the thing.
Philly and Pittsburgh, they have
That's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry
Battle of Pennsylvania.
right there. That's a back demon. That's a get away from me. It's a bad. What about the Avalanche? You could have paired them with Chicago. You could have paired them with
Detroit. Detroit, the bloody series.
Detroit.
Here, John, and here's the thing. Colorado supposedly got to choose their opponents.
And they choose the Kings.
I don't get it, Colorado. I don't understand that. Why LA? What are you? Are you mad because 2012 they won the Stanley Cup, bro? Are you just mad because they were the 8th seed and you couldn't pull it off with Matt Duchene? Come on, man. This upsets me. I want a rivalry. I don't want this bull crap.
Could have had
what was the Winter Classic?
You could have had Colorado versus Detroit. The bloody series.
2020, the year of non-rivals. Dallas versus Nashville in the Winter Classic, and Colorado versus LA Kings. I could name opponents that would be better than those two with the teams that are hosting. Here, ideal Winter Classic with Dallas involved. I'm not going to say Buffalo. Minnesota Wild.
That wouldn't be bad either.
Ideal Stadium Series with Colorado. I'm not going to say Detroit.
That's another team that Colorado could have chosen. They're rivals,
Dallas.
Minnesota and Colorado. They're rivals.
Minnesota and Colorado, yeah. Yeah, very much. But I was going to say you could do, I mean, in retrospect, you could say Detroit. Detroit you've already done.
Detroit.
But Chicago, Minnesota, St. Louis, Nashville.
There are those names.
Bring back the Quebec Nordiques.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Bring back Montreal. Let's fight Montreal.
How awesome would it be?
And make them wear the Quebec Nordiques jerseys.
Guys, listen.
That would be amazing.
How awesome would it be if the Montreal Canadiens and the Colorado Avalanche did a Winter Classic series, the old Quebec versus Montreal rivalry?
That's what Hurricanes did this year. That's what the Hurricanes did this year.
I would just say this right now. Take my money. Take my money.
Take my money.
And I'm still waiting for that Hartford Whalers jersey.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Let me just throw this in here. Speaking of Detroit, you know it's the 26th year anniversary of Chris Draper getting traded for $1.
The 26th year anniversary.
26th year anniversary of Chris Draper getting traded for $1.
Chris Draper getting traded for $1.
He was known as the $1 man.
$1 is what I need.
$1. Here comes the money.
Here comes the money.
And just like that, yeah, that was another horrible trade. You know what? We'll do a summer episode in the off season about all the horrible trades, the top 10 trades in NHL history.
Trades of all time. And cut that out because I just yawned.
Oh man, that's
embarrassing.
Winnipeg. Oh man.
God, Winnipeg. Like Jon Petit.
Jon Petit.
What a fucking legend, man.
I the first time I even saw that was like what I was first really getting into hockey in like 2009, I think. But just over 10 years ago. And you know, I saw one of the worst trades, Chris Draper traded for $1. I'm just like, that's horrible. You could be one of the only player in NHL history to say, I was traded for $1.
That's great.
Very exciting stuff, Tyler. Very exciting stuff.
Either way, like that's, oh man.
Hey, continue.
It's crazy. You know, either way, like that's pretty insane. So
pretty.
going on now, let's something happened yesterday. Cameron,
Tyler.
Amy Alexiak got traded back to the Dallas Stars for the same 4th-round pick that Pittsburgh gave him.
No thanks, I want it back. No thanks. You can take it back.
Take it
No
back.
more.
We don't want it.
I don't want it. No. No, Dallas. Thanks, Mario Lemieux.
Thank you, Jim Rutherford. That was just. I don't even know
I'm
why
sorry.
that move
I
took
really
place.
had to do that bit right there.
I don't know why that move took place. That's
Go
all I'm
for
going to say
it.
about that. Okay, anyways.
And the big thing.
Big fish.
Big one. Tyler.
We said the Leafs don't have defense. Get out of my life.
You're wrong!
I don't know why you're targeting my fan base like this, Tyler.
You know,
Jeez.
John. You know what I mean. You know what I'm getting at.
I know exactly what you mean.
The Leafs.
I know exactly
Leafs.
what you mean.
Get
Boston
from-
fans.
I'm going to say the trade.
Toronto Maple Leafs acquire from the Los Angeles Kings left-handed defensive defenseman Jake Muzzin. What did they give up, you ask? A 2019 first-round pick, Carl Grundstrom, and the rights to OHL prospect Sean Dursey.
I'm going to say this right now. Steve Dangle, if you're watching. Jake Muzzin is a Leaf!
Can I just say something really fast? Can I say something really fast? Hey, Bruins fans out there, guys, we need to huddle up, okay? Look, Toronto's getting really deadly out there. I don't know about all of this, man. But hey, I'll tell you something. When Artemi Panarin comes to Boston, and no, I'm just messing with you. He's not coming to Boston. When Wayne Simmons comes to Boston, like all the other, no, he's not coming to Boston either. Here, we just have to beat them with our team. Let's just focus on this. It's been the past 2 playoff series where we've seen Toronto. This is kind of getting a little annoying, isn't it? It's kind of getting a little bit annoying. Hey, how about this? If we beat Toronto one more time, which probably we won't, but let's just hope. Let's try to beat Tampa. Because either way, Tampa's exact strategy is just canceling the neutral zone. And I know this. Tampa, you got figured out. Try me, kid. Anyway, so Tampa's neutral zone, if they shut it down, they could shut it down for any team in the NHL.
I want to just give a little brief look into the Leafs defense now. So the top line pairing, according to a couple of insiders that we've heard from, is going to be Riley Muzzin, Gardner Zaitsev, and then Dermott and Hainsey. So it looks like Ozhiganov is going to be the odd one out in this case.
This is just adding more to the McAvoy and Riley rivalry that's kind of brewing.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of getting to that point where McAvoy now has to step up with another defensive defenseman that is that's not about to retire and try to do his best. You know what I mean? It's that the Bruins and the Leafs have built such a big rivalry, even though these two are the 2 Leafs fans that are not shouting at me all the time that the Bruins suck. Yes, I'm calling you out, Tiago.
just wait until the playoffs. Just wait until the playoffs.
Yeah. I can't wait to face Tampa first round in a wild card spot.
Yeah, that's going to be a great series. So speaking of that, so just to conclude, let us know in the comments who you think really won the trade. I think that Toronto won it. Short term, but long term, Los Angeles won it.
Long term, Los Angeles definitely won that. Short term, definitely Toronto. Toronto could do a few things with Jake Muzzin now. But I want to see how their cap plays with this. Because if Jake Muzzin wants more money producing so much with Toronto, who would they give up? You know what I mean? Is that
Exactly.
it's John Tavares, Austin Matthews, 2 first overalls on your team, along with Mitch Marner, along with who's that? Nylander? William Nylander?
Who respectively went 5th and 8th in their draft years.
Yep. You're also
You got
talking
Riley, who was a
Riley?
4th overall pick.
And not to even mention Anderson, who's doing your stuff in net.
Yeah, this team's got a lot this team's got a lot in the future. I think that, if they really play the rest of the season going on high hopes, they're going to be a cup contender, absolutely.
They're going to be one of the toughest contenders right now. Toughest Canadian contender by far, even though my money's still on Winnipeg. Let's go Jets. Yeah, definitely. No, Toronto's no joke at this point. They're no joke. They've never been a joke. The only time where they have been a joke is after 2013. And when has that stopped? 2016.
Oh yeah,
Toronto's
that was
back.
the year of the boys, we call it.
Mm-hmm. Toronto's back.
All right. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the playoffs. Yeah, go ahead, John.
I was just going to wrap up what I was saying. I was going to say Toronto's back, and what a time. What a time for Toronto to be back.
Indeed.
We haven't seen this since Matt Sundin days. And
which, again, is another era. Oof.
Yeah, quite honestly, I'm a little scared by it, but as a Bruins fan, but at the same point, the Bruins and Leafs, their rivalry is just going to be reintroduced.
Yeah, easily.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, speaking of the playoffs, let's move on to a little bit of, before we wrap this up, let's move on to the playoff picture currently. So I want to go, as you guys know, so it is a wildcard format. So we are going to go from east to west first. So starting off in the Metropolitan Division, the New York Islanders are in first place with 63 points. Not far behind them is the Washington Capitals in second with 60 points, followed by the Columbus Blue Jackets with 59. For the Atlantic Division, Tampa Bay is in first place by a landslide with 76 points on the season. That is a league high. Followed by Toronto, who has 62, and Montreal, who has 61. In the 2 wildcard spots, which is Boston and Pittsburgh, Boston has 59, Pittsburgh has 58. And that's going into the East. Looking into the West, in the Central Division, Winnipeg is in first in their division with 64 points. Nashville also tied with them for 64. Minnesota in third place with 55. Going into the Pacific Division, one of the weakest divisions in the National Hockey League. So Calgary was 71 in first place.
Don't test on my division like that.
The Pacific Division is it is weak. So, anyways, so Calgary is in first with 71 points. Second, right behind them, is San Jose with 65, and Vegas with 62 in third. The 2 wildcard spots right now are Dallas and Colorado, tied for 52 points, as well as Vancouver, who is just looking out with 52 points as well.
See, Vancouver, you got something to riot over all after all. Playoffs, yeah! Let's trash the city! Let's go, guys! Patterson! He did it! Yeah! I used to go grocery shopping in that building. Let's throw a brick through it. Yeah.
Let's fucking light it on fire.
Yeah.
Let's Screw the Bruins.
Screw the Bruins. They didn't even deserve the cup. Yeah.
All right, and I just want to let everyone know we are joking. We don't actually mean any of this, so don't take it personally if we're making fun of your team.
Of course not. No. Vancouver, quite frankly, I do love your city, and I do think your hockey market is amazing. I think you guys have one of the best, and I think this as Canada as a whole, is that they have by far some of the best hockey markets, better than what the States have. And that's coming from Boston, one of the best sports markets in the world. So just know I do respect. I respect all of you. And you know what? Time moves on. Just joking around.
All right. Anyway, so we are.
All right, I think that's the perfect time to end it.
Yeah, that is indeed the perfect time to end it. So Cameron, let's just end it off here with saying that, busy week in the hockey universe. Next week is going to be even busier as the trade deadline looms within the next month. This is going to be a pretty intense second half of the season. Is the official playoff push, as we call it. So Boston's going to be racing for a playoff spot. Toronto obviously wants to maintain that second place, so they've got to start winning games. And, well, lots of trades are going to be made.
Playoffs? Are we going to do the playoff thing?
That's what we were just looking at the playoff outlook.
Oh, okay.
Yes, anyways. But, yes, so hopefully we'll have more to discuss coming up this week. It was a little bit of a later episode because we had some technical difficulties with recording again. So we're going to look into that further. But without further ado, Jon, thank you for coming on to the show and welcome to the crew.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to have a lot more fun with you guys. And I can't wait to read the comments of today and see how many people trash on me. But you know what? All fun and games.
All right, anyways, it's time to go trash our city. So, yeah.
Hey, Cameron and I are going to have fun sledding down the sidewalks because it's that icy outside. Anyways.
All right, I'm going to go light up
Meanwhile, I'm just going to be enjoying the rain.
I'm going to light up a police car now. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later.
Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching the newest installment of the Bro Shop podcast. This has been your host, Tyler Rames, along with Jonathan Petit and Cameron Reeser. Good night, everybody.